We got more good and some bad Assassin's Creed Shadows news, with some details that you totally did not hear before. Starting with a piece of the bad news, which actually a quick warning: some physical versions of the game have leaked and were already sold online. So totally careful on social media platforms like X, Facebook and Reddit. So far I've not seen any significant spoilers or anything, and I will of course not share them here, but just be a bit more careful. We are really close to launch, so it would suck if you ruin something for yourself. Now, Ubisoft did already share the Steam achievements that are the same as the PlayStation trophies and Xbox achievements. Of course, once again, no spoilers, but some of these are very interesting. Of course, there are easy ones that you will get by just playing the game, like you get one for performing an assassination or engraving your first weapon at the forge in your hideout. Also by performing certain skills or abilities, like the landing roll, called Egan roll in this game, or the kick with Yasuke that you have to perform from a high spot. Being able to breathe through reed is also a skill you have to unlock, and if you do this tactic to escape conflict, you will also get an achievement. And we also learned some cool new things you can do. For one, you can perform a leap of faith from a grapple hook swing. It's something that you could do in Syndicate as well, thanks to Cat on X for reminding me. Should be more smooth in Shadows. And seems like you can put multiple status effects on one enemy, as there's an achievement for performing a finisher on an enemy that is both poisoned and dazed, so then will take damage over time and also becomes an easier target. I was able to test these status effects a bit in my hands-on, but I will go more in depth on them in a future video. No complete every location or province achievement yet. So far they all seem quite simple. There are some hidden ones as well. I will of course not show them, but some seem linked to the main story, some seem linked to getting the different allies, and you got the collector achievement, which might be the grindy one where you have to get a ton of collectibles. Another one that stands out is called Test Your Might, defeat the final enemy in the tournament. And well, I got some new info on this arena and way more good and bad news to go over. Of course, if you are excited for Shadows and enjoy the content, leave a like and subscribe to not miss any Assassin's Creed Shadows news. But first, Revenge of the Savage Planet, the sponsor of this video. If you want to support the channel, this is a great way to do so. So I love games with fun weapons, and well, there are many here. There are more than 4 completely different planets to explore with cool different traversal, and yes, on those planets you got some weird alien creatures that are hostile, so having a weapon that makes them slippy will come in handy, or you can kick and full-on explode them. But you also have a lasso that you can use to capture the creatures and put them outside your space trailer. One you can, by the way, fully customize from the inside, and here you can also change the outfit for your character. And while you can play the game completely solo, you can also play in 2-player co-op and then combine the power of weapons, like one puts goo fuse on them and the other one makes them go boom. So totally purchase Revenge of the Savage Planet via the special link in the video description that would support the channel as well. And on PlayStation you receive the Cinco de Mayo Trash Panda suit for a limited time. The game launches on May 8th, thanks to Raccoon Logic for sponsoring the video, and now let's get back into it. One thing that I'm very happy about, that is good news in my books, is that there seems to be some sort of arena that sounds a lot like what we found in Assassin's Creed Origins. It's not as involved in the sense that it doesn't have spikes coming out of the ground, that's more the Greece Gladiator arena, but we do have a Mortal Kombat style tournament, and we have a couple funky archetypes in there as well that you will not encounter elsewhere in the world. Again, in Origins you had some very cool unique boss battles in the 2 arenas. You would first see an awesome cutscene, like a guy fighting a lion and then taking it out with the horns of his helmet. And this was awesome too. So this guy was like trying to get the weapon from a fallen enemy, but hurt himself, and this caused audience members to make fun of him, and let's just say that he did not like that. A really fast and cool introduction to these bosses that you then have to fight. Maybe not possible in a setting like feudal Japan, but I do hope Ubisoft Quebec has some fun with this as well. We at least know that the tournament will be tied to a quest in Shadows, similar to Odyssey, and there might be some wave-based encounters as well. Maybe something they can expand on later with a horde mode, like we saw in Origins. Animals were also part of these arenas to throw more aggressive enemies at you, but we of course know that we will not be fighting animals in Shadows, as that was not really a part of the Japanese culture and simply not something that happened in this setting. I think on one hand, good news. I'm in particular kind of over the legendary animals we had to fight in many of the recent games and other open world titles. But it's bad news in regards to enemy variety. These animals can of course not block, but are super fast and less predictable, so you would always approach the encounter differently. And they would also populate more off-road areas, so you could be surprised by an animal attack. But even without animals, Shadows should still have the most amount of enemy archetypes versus any Assassin's Creed game. This was actually a core marketing pillar for Valhalla, but that game had 25 different enemy archetypes. I learned that Shadows has 31. You of course got multiple regular soldiers, stronger armor wielding samurai, you got fast and annoying shinobi, and these guys calling in airstrikes that you have to dodge. I could also fight the guardians in my hands-on session that spawn when the alarm bell goes off. And these also come in different forms. 3 will spawn to hunt you. You got these large brutes with the cannibal, although sometimes they will have a big hammer as well. There's the guardian with a gun who grabs a katana when you get up close, and there should be more variants that we did not see yet. Then you also got the samurai daisho, who are the strongest enemies in military castles and are required for the legendary reward of the location. All should be unique and tailor-made, so slightly different, like I was fighting one with a poison spear who could give me the damage over time effect, and there was this slower but beefy brute samurai daisho, and Ubisoft told me that there are hundreds of these daisho enemies. But yeah, no crazy mythical creatures, at least at launch, so I cannot tell you that we will never have it. It will really depend on how the community reacts to Shadows and if they want it. Maybe we can give them something like that. I totally think they already have a Fate of Atlantis or Dawn of Ragnarok style DLC planned for maybe a year or so after launch. And I hope they do. For one, the Japanese mythology is really awesome and I want to experience that in an Assassin's Creed game, but also because these boss fights can have really cool mechanics because they don't have to be realistic, so I really hope they do it. We also don't know if the enemies will still have fun interactions with the environment or each other, but Assassin's Creed Brotherhood on Twitter did find this cool footage from Advent Terrible where the enemy throws a rock to destroy a rope that Naue is walking on. I really like things like this, and also by the way, in case you did not know, if Yasuke walks on one of these ropes, he will also break it and fall down like he's too heavy. I had this once and then could not climb up the mountain to explore the castle again, so I had to switch to Naue. We do have something cool for Yasuke though. You can namely already claim a free weapon for him as part of a promotion. There's this website where you have to enter your name and an email address. You can leave the phone number blank, but you have to make sure that you can access that email address, as then you will get a code that you can enter on a special Ubisoft website after logging in with your Ubisoft Connect account. And then bam, you get a unique Naginata for when the game launches. Link to that promotional website is also in the video description. And of course subscribe to not miss the next Shadows video that will be dropping very soon. A like would really help me out, and totally check out a previous video we did on way more details that you probably don't know about if you have not watched this video yet. It's a pretty cool one. I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.